Alright guys, today we are taking apart the skid for the biggest part. I got a notebook to take my notes. I got a bunch of notes there. What I had planned on doing is moving this over, but we're still running some landscape stuff. This makes, when I use my pole saw, my rakes, my shovels, this is the perfect spot to put them and not be dealing over here with the pressure wash side. So really the big change that I'm gonna do is I normally have my pump here and my battery. Well, if that battery goes bad, I gotta take the pressure washer off because it's blocked in over there. And then I always have the mix tank, which the mix tank is a 55-gallon drum. I got it here. But I have, if I didn't have this 2x4 here bracing this top, I could just pull it out this way. But you got to have that or it's going to sway, and the back side doesn't have that, so it comes out pretty easy. But when I have the mix tank there and the pressure washer, I can't. And the pressure washer is going to stay. I'll tell you everything that I'm doing and why. I wanted the pump and everything to set out here, but because I do still do lawn stuff, I use the pole saw, I use hand tools, it needs to go in this area here. And I was going to get a new hose reel for this, but there's really no purpose. This one's plastic, it still works great. The pressure hose reel is great. I got 150 foot of hose on this reel. It's still holding up, so there's no reason to replace it. But the big change is going to be the pump battery. I'm going to move it and put the pump battery here. That way, if something goes wrong with the battery, something goes wrong with the pump, I can just come down here and pull it out from this side. I have an opening here on the end that doesn't have the 2x4, and so that battery can just go in there, come out. Same with right here. I got some old jugs and stuff in there in the charger. I can just take the top off of the pump and slide it in. A couple things I'm going to change. I have to leave this open here because that's where I bring my 55-gallon drums in. That's where the surface cleaner goes. So I have to have the pressure washer where it is. So there's not going to be big changes. It's just going to be some changes. So pressure washer is still going to go where it is, plumbed like this. Currently I have my downstream injector, and I normally have I have two little 5-gallon totes. And I just realized with the bigger machine and bigger houses, 5 and 10 gallons isn't a lot. So I normally just take and drop them in the totes here. But the same thing I run on the house is the same thing I run, is what I mix up all the time, 50-50. So I'm gonna plumb this, my downstream injector, and it's gonna go, either come from the side and go down into my mix tank and just go there, or I'm going to run it up over into it. This again, you know, if something is to mess up with this pump, I don't have any way of quick connecting it. And I want to show you what this looks like. We'll look at this together. Now this has been in here for a year, and see what it looks like in there. It's a little dusty, no leaks. Everything looks good. This has been a good pump. Yeah, about everything I would expect it to look like. Honestly, figured it would be a little bit cleaner, but I know this does come up and it has holes here, and I'm around a lot of dust when I'm mowing. So that's about what I expect for it to look like. But I want to put this on quick connects. That way, if something goes wrong, I can cam lock, you know, undo a cam lock, put, you know, and change the pump out and be back in business, instead of having to take that off, pull it here, pull it there, and then reconnect it. So that's going to be the biggest changes to the skid. I'll have to raise the lid of the deck up like I did that for where this is. because it did set too low and the hose hit on the 2x4 and it kind of cocked the box. But you can see the battery there. It's going to come out, go down to the end. That hose reel's, all the hose, everything's going to stay the same. I got to get another 100 foot of hose. See, I had put a brace in here for the totes, but when I run this straight into my mix, into my 55-gallon drum, that will eliminate those. So I'm actually looking forward to that. Another thing I'm going to do is from my hose, my suction line on the pump here, I'm going to put a T on it to where I can cut it off and then drop a hose down into a bucket of water and siphon it through and rinse the pump. Because right now, each time I'm done, I have to unhook. I got to unscrew the drum lid here. I got to unscrew the drum lid, pull this out of the tank, stick it in a bucket, and put it back in. To where if I put a T on it, I have a shut-off valve here. I can just cut the suction line off of this, which would be this side, cut the suction line off of that, and drop the water hose, drop the tube in a bucket of water, open that valve up and let it suck through and not have to take anything in and out. I'm trying to minimize things, trying to make it to where I can hook stuff up without pulling stuff in and out. How I can fill it up with the bleach, you know, easily. Maybe it be a cam lock, fill it up with the water, fill the water up, just anything that I can just come to the tank and hook up to without having to move and pull and maneuver around. I mean, the 55-gallon drum, it comes with 2 of these. I can drill anything into this. I can put the caps and run the hoses through this. But the main thing is I want to have to where all I have to do is drop in and put bleach in, drop in and put, you know, water in, and not have to worry about pulling anything out. You know, if I go to rinse the pump out, I don't have to pull my siphon tube out, put it in water, and then do the pump. So just this is going to look a little different. I think I may have some bulkheads up here. Maybe I'll just put the caps on these, but I probably have some bulkheads on this running to different tubes, running to my downstream injector, running to my pump. But yeah, I mean, that's just the changes I got going on now. So that's for now. Who knows what could happen. But I'm just gonna do that, go ahead and rearrange everything, measure off how much hose I got to get. I probably just get 25 foot of each hose because it's so cheap. I love the Polybraided hose. It works great. I like being able to see stuff come through when it's time. And yeah, let's get this started. All right, progress so far is I got the chemicals back here moved. I have an empty one there just like I did here. I went ahead and just cut these hoses off that come out of this. This one is like a whip line to my hose reel, and the other one is the siphon tube for the mix. And so I got the battery here. The battery just slid right into there, no problem. It's gonna stay there. I went ahead and cut these so I could move this better. All I gotta do is take that lid off, run them wires up through here, hook them to the battery, and all that'll be good to go. So now I just got to figure out how I want it to quick connect it. I'm thinking I'm going to do Banjo fittings. I just don't know how I want to do that. The box is too wide to do a Banjo all the way in, and then just have it sticking out here. It's too wide for that. So that's not a good idea because it squeezed the box in. I don't want that. So what I'll probably end up doing is cutting a little bit longer piece of hose, putting a barbed end in, and just quick cam locking it like that. That way, say something goes wrong with this, all I have to do, take this lid off, undo the battery, the 2 cables that go to the pump, quick connect from the back, quick connect from the front, or the front, then the back, and then pull this out and then replace it. Quick fix. So that's how we're going to do that. And then I'll end up running a hose from here. I'll run that hose from here to my quick connect. The way I have this set up is this pulls off. Of course, the other end of my whip line from the pump is a whip line from here to a cam lock. So you got the whip line from here is what I'm calling the whip line from here to here. And I just have this zip tied. When I roll it up, it doesn't move, it stays away. There's about 180, 190 feet on here. This is 4 years old stuff from Pressure Tech. It's been amazing. It stays out in the weather year round, and it has held up so good. I've been really impressed with it. That Polybraid is really, really nice. And so all I got to do is when I get to a job is pull out what I need, hook the cam lock to it, and I always pull out a little bit more than I need, hook the cam lock to it, and I'm good to go, and then I reel it back up. I mean, ideally, I'd like to have it, you know, kind of like the pressure washer. All I got to do is turn it on and pull off what I need without hooking and unhooking. But when you're running that strong mix, it's hard to find a reel that'll do that, and I'm not going to spend $400 or $500 on a stainless reel when what I have here is working just fine. So we're gonna whip line it here, cam lock it, and then back here on the back side will be, down there will be the suction line, and it'll run out, go up, and then it'll go up to the mix tank if I don't decide to put a bulkhead fitting on the end. So that's what we got so far.